If you're joining us on live stream, we appreciate you joining us. We'll go ahead and get started this evening, our April 20th, 2020 regular school board meeting and public hearing. And we do have a quorum present. Mr. Leonard, would you please identify yourself for the minutes?
Mark Leonard, attending from home.
Thank you. All right, at this time, Dr. Kim, would you lead us in a pledge of allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Now we'll have a brief moment of silence. All right, thank you. Next, members, we have an agenda before us. Are there any changes or is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Dr. Wolford, I guess we have our public hearing next.
Ms. Beck, has there been any emails or comments about more? Nothing so far. Okay, so this is our public hearing for presentation for our 2021 budget. And we first will talk about the budget highlights as initially proposed for 2021. We had teacher raises, which with an average increase of 9%, 3 new teaching positions, custodial aides, scale increase for minimum wage, no increase in health insurance costs for single employee, middle school band funding, at-risk classroom addition, increased professional development, addition of speech therapists to staff, 1 new school bus, and a bathroom addition at the football field. Those were some of our proposed items that were going to be used with our funding, and as of last week we have received news that our budget has been drastically unallotted for now. So that does not mean we won't eventually get the money, it's just that right now we cannot budget because we don't have it to budget. The General Assembly meets on April the 22nd, and after that we'll have more information. Right now the information we have is vague at best, or not as detailed as what we would like to see to bring forward how we would like to actually spend that money. If you'll, I'll read these with you because you cannot see the screen on the live stream. The governor's amendments, budget unallotments that we will see are increased funding for our competing adjustment, which is our salaries. Enrollment loss money, that's been allotted. Additional funding for the at-risk add-on. This is the general fund portion only. The portion of the increased funding with lottery will continue, so that was a little bit of good news in that piece. No loss funding, expansion of school meals access, which does not impact us right now because we're a CEP school. And the Virginia Preschool Initiative increase reverts the formula back to the entitlement back to $6,326 per pupil as it was originally adopted. There had been a change in that with the new budget, but that's hopefully won't have a huge impact on us either. Other language amendments, including waiving the requirement to meet required local effort and required local match for the fiscal year 2020 only, and broad flexibility and waiver authority for the superintendent of public instruction for fiscal year 2020 and 2021. So hopefully with our waivers, we'll see a lot of help with that. And, our city right now, provides, with the budget we had put before them, require local effort, and I would think that any changes that we would make, we would try our best to stay where their requirement would be require local effort. So hopefully we won't see any impact with our city from that. If you are where you can look at this slide, this just is the breakdown that we were provided from the VDOE. This is the first anticipated impact with numbers, which are likely to change after Wednesday or possibly could change. And this is still not our calculation tool where we can actually put in information with the total impact of how it actually impacts our budget. And I'm gonna let Jacqueline speak to this slide just for a few minutes.
And I will say that the DOE has come out and said that these are estimates only. They won't really know, what the actual impact to our school district or any school district will be until after they calculate the numbers based on the General Assembly on Wednesday. And so, this is actually better than I thought it was going to be. It's only showing us having a loss of $150,000 over what they had previously, said that our budget would be, so that's only $194 per pupil. That's still a lot of money, but compared to some school districts, we came across, much less per pupil than others. We of course are losing the compensation supplement because they put that off for the year. And, the other big thing I was worried about was our, increased at-risk funding that we used to provide, a couple, a new teacher this year, you know, funding that stuff. That was much less of a loss than I anticipated, so, it's still very sad that we are losing this funding. Hopefully they'll come back and give it to us later.
And I just wanna make one correction when I said, compensation. And a lot of SOQ support kind of increase, we did not see an impact from that, it's like, but we did from the compensation. Any questions?
Any questions? Mark, you have any questions?
No question.
Okay, thank you.
And so moving forward in our budget strategies, the two things that I think are very important for us to focus on as we come back to the table with the budget work session and to rethink the budget with the new numbers we've been given and as we receive more information, is our people and how we can have the least impact on our people who are working for us, and on our programs, with the programs that we had hoped to supplement and help and bring aboard in this new budget. If there's a way to keep those, I think that's the two things that are most important for us right now. So when we come back, like I said, for our next budget, we will now have another budget work session. That's the things that I would like for us to focus on, because I think that's most important right now.
I truly believe that we will be able to give some increase to our teachers. It will not be the increase that we had planned, but I do believe that we'll be able to give some kind of raises, and, you know, we'll just have to see what happens when we get our, you know, our calculations and everything, so. That's my goal.
Thank you. Ms. Silkins, anything come in? Wolf, anything else?
Not with this public hearing.
All right, so we will close our public hearing at about 6:09 minutes. And still no public comment on that?
Yes.
All right, so no public comment, we're gonna move right into agenda item number 5. That's the approval of our minutes. So we have two sets there. The first one is our March 23rd, 2020 budget work session. So is there a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the March 23rd, 2020 budget workshop session.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next we have our March 23rd regular school board meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of March 23rd, 2020 regular school board meeting.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright, next we have our financials. Dr. Wolford or Ms. Brooke, anything atypical besides of what we're dealing with on the atypical thing?
You'll see several, in the description of these, several charges I've loaded, I've labeled things COVID related. I'm trying to keep track of these expenses because there's a possibility that they can be reimbursed later. And so I'm trying to keep track of everything. I don't think that there was anything particular, we had a couple, COVID related expenses that are abnormal that we wouldn't normally have, but I think it's, pretty standard. Trying to look through it.
Members, any questions for staff?
Standard to me, I do notice the COVID.
Right, and I will say, the board approved the application of a computer science grant through Ms. Adrian Hood and the consortium. We were awarded that grant and spending has begun, so you will see some computer science grant related expenditures in here, so those are unusual.
We were the fiscal agent for that.
We are the fiscal agent, so it's money in, money out, there's
Okay.
no gain for us.
Alright, is there a motion to approve accounts payable?
I'll make a motion to approve accounts payable in the amount of $132,614.09.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Acceptance.
Mr. Leonard?
Yes.
Mrs. Crusoe?
Yes.
Dr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Knapple?
Yes. Next is our financial statements, other transactions. Dr. Wolford, anything, or Ms. Brooke?
I will say that on our financial statements, I have done a draft accrual reversal in there. You'll see, in that far left-hand column. We have not received any information back from the auditor. I have talked to her and she hasn't mentioned anything, but I have not received an official report. But I wanted to go ahead and load these in here so you can get a better idea of what our actual spending has been to date. This may change in the next couple of weeks as she finishes everything up, but this is, pretty close.
And she has, let Jacqueline know that she will be in touch to schedule a time to come do her exit interview with us,
Right.
and then come to present to her maybe later.
You may, yes, she'll be here.
It's her
next
plan
time.
right now.
Alright, so we're tentatively knowing it could change, this fund balance is what we could be looking at.
I'm showing right now a surplus of $362,000.
Right, okay.
Of course, we'll have revenue come
Right.
in and then we'll have expenses come out, so,
Right.
but that's as of right now, and I felt like
Is
that
that
was,
as of February?
as of February, yes,
Right.
and so, but it's more, when I did it without it, I thought this isn't really representative of what's
Right.
going on, so I wanted to go ahead and add it.
Okay. Any questions from members regarding the financial statement or other transactions? Alright, thank you, Ms. Brooke. Dr. Wolford, next we have our building cost. I know that Mr. Leonard requested this be added to the agenda. Mr. Leonard, do you have a chance to review that
Yes.
attachment? Okay, so,
I do.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Very quickly, Mr. Leonard had, requested estimates on our insurance cost, and I received it late this afternoon. I hadn't had a chance to add it, but, just a rough estimate, they don't know, but they're anticipating about $17 extra a month for insurance.
Did you hear that, Mr. Leonard?
Barely could
She
hear.
said they're estimating $17 a month increase in our insurance for the facility.
Okay.
So less than $240 a year. I can't do
They
17.
said $200 a year or
Okay.
$17 a month.
I can round and do 27.
And that is for the building and the contents, not
It
just the
is.
content?
It's the building and the contents, yes.
Okay, and that's, you said a little over $200 a year?
They
Yes.
said right at $200 a year or $17 a month is what he told me.
Okay. I guess the reason why I wanted this added to the agenda is, I don't know what the purchasing cost is of the building? Are we gonna finance it? Are we going to, try to use surplus funds to purchase the building? Those type of things. So it would be nice to know, and for the public to know, what the purchase price of the building is and how we are going to move this, plus the additional costs associated with it. And I know we've got in here the utility increases and, the anticipated, expenses for renovation being the fireproof record room, conference room, walls, paint, and a heat pump. I guess my question is, what about water, cleaning, landscaping, maintenance, and, Jacqueline's already taken care of the insurance. And I guess the cost of the heat pump, we've got $24,000. Is that, I drove by the building, is there not 3 heat pumps on that building, 3 heat pump systems?
No, there's definitely 2. I think this would include both of those, I believe.
This is for 2 heat pumps and not just 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That was the other question I had.
Yeah.
So, and I guess, so I would like to see a breakdown of total cost of the building and again, water, cleaning, landscape, what those anticipated costs are, because, when I look at the current monthly rent and what we're paying a year in utilities, that equates out to about $1,570 a month. And the new utility cost equated to a month with the cost of the mortgage payment is actually higher than what we're paying now. So I want to see all those costs, purchase price, how we're financing, who we're financing through, what are percentage rates, all that before I can make an educated decision on this building.
Yeah, so I know there's, some of those are still fluid because of the anticipated surplus number we're waiting on. So, you know, we were authorized, the board authorized superintendent chair in February to enter into the real estate contract, and there was correspondence after that. The building purchase price was $130,000. And so, you know, as far as, are we gonna purchase it with surplus funds or finance, that's still to be determined. And I think the electricity utility, maybe the only one that changes, water utility should be pretty even, the same, because we're not changing the use of that. But yeah, as those things become more evident, we don't really know yet, because again, that surplus number is still fluid until our auditors come back to us to see what route we'll take. I don't know if Dr. Wolford maybe could answer what kind of possible rate we were looking at if we had to finance, or Ms. Brooke.
If we were gonna finance, our bank, First Bank and Trust, advised me that it would be at 4.5% to 5%. I used 5% to come up with this estimated monthly mortgage amount.
Okay, so they're estimating 5%, Mr. Leonard, if we go through our bank, First Bank and Trust.
And it was a 10-year note.
And that was on a 10-year note.
Well, again, I'd like to see this all on paper and presented to the board from the superintendent and the finance director, so that the board knows everything before making a final decision on this.
What, yeah, what final decision are you speaking about?
Well, I mean, if we are going to use surplus money,
Okay, so talking about the method of payments decision?
well, if we're gonna use surplus money, then yes, we have to approve that by
Right,
the board.
yes, okay, I was just asking,
To finance it, it has to be approved by the board.
yes, I agree,
I mean,
I agree, I was just asking what that decision you were talking about was, but yeah, we'll do that. I think the pandemic's probably took precedence on a lot of things, if I were to speak for staff, but yeah, they can come back with that.
We would need to.
But I mean,
finalize that and
we
make
are looking at,
I'm sorry.
I mean, this is, it's first of May, and we've got till the 1st of July to be out of the current building that we're in. So, I know the coronavirus has put everything on the back burner, but, you've got 2 months basically to make a decision and move. And, me as a board member, I haven't been presented everything to know exactly what we're doing.
Right, and that's why there's not been a decision proposed to the board yet until we have all the information.
Well, we got 2, that's what I'm saying, we got 2 months, and as a board member, I don't know. And this needs to be presented to the public, so they know what we're doing, and then make a final decision on whether this is something that this board actually wants to do or can do, and whether it's gonna save us money or cost us money.
Right, but we may need to hear like our budget. I think come April the 22nd, we're gonna hear what, so we may want you to know what, if we need a surplus for something else. I'm not
I think
sure,
we're waiting
there's
on
a lot to think about.
I think we're waiting on our auditors to leave it.
We were waiting on our auditors to present us with the final surplus numbers. Based on preliminary information, I believe that we'll be able to purchase the building in its entirety, plus, some renovation costs with the surplus. That's our plan. As is, I have that $16,800, for the rent on our current building built into our budget. So we will, we have that $1,400 a month built in that will more than cover the estimated, mortgage, should that occur. However, I do wanna say that our current building is gonna go up in rent if we stay. So it's really not $1,400, I think it was what, 18?
Yeah, our new rent, we found out, or I guess staff found out, will be $1,800 a month. Should we stay? Should we have stayed?
That's with renovations to the building.
Correct.
Right, that's if he would've opened up the, I guess it's the house behind it, and
Yeah, I'm not sure what's
made
there.
additional office spaces and so forth. It
Is that
would've went up.
Is there an apartment
There
there?
we-
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I know we were planning on another workshop coming up soon, so hopefully we can have some numbers maybe at that meeting as well.
Right, I'd like to see it all on paper and more precise, instead of just gathering information here and there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, so that we've got it all on paper in front of us, and as a board, we can discuss it and what our options are, or what our options aren't.
Yes. So staff will work towards that, at the next meeting, hopefully. We'll know more.
We're trying to have that for the work,
Yeah.
For the work session.
Yeah, for the work session.
in the meeting too.
Did you say that had been scheduled, the exit interview with auditors?
Has not.
Has
She's
not.
supposed to contact you
Anticipated.
this week
Okay.
to schedule the exit hearing.
Dates kind of go blurry in my mind right now.
Yes.
So, okay, so anything else, Mr. Leonard, before we move on?
No, that's,
Okay.
I just basically wanted to see where we're at with it and the breakdown, so I guess there's more information coming.
Yeah, 10-4. All right, so, next thing is our school calendar, Dr. Wolford.
Okay, so, the 2019-20 calendar did change just a little bit. As it was set, we had planned to have a spring break. What we did was we went ahead and did not take the spring break, and so we adjusted the end of the year days. I know that's hard to make sense with us not being in school at all, but, when I presented the video and asked for a waiver, I had to have a calendar that was set, and I have submitted the waiver and asked, we had 130 days into the calendar that we had attended, and even with our makeup days, we've asked for 50 to be waived. Supposedly there'll be no questions about these waivers, but we still have to go through that process. So that's just that calendar, you seeing that. Summer school dates to be determined, we're just not sure yet in determining, if that'll be July, June, or even August, if we have to look forward to revisiting a calendar that would be a September start. And that's something we've been looking at is, a calendar that would have a September start if that's something that has to take place. So we've been trying to plan a little bit ahead for that. I do think it's gonna be important to have a summer school as soon as we're told that we can, for kids who need to really be on site with the teacher and with some review and who request that. So, I know, guidance from the BDOE has said to recommend summer school, still not to require it, but to work with students who would be willing to come and who would want to. So all of that's still, there again, is up in the air about some of the dates, but that's sort of the direction, the two directions we're looking at. And I just wanted to let you all know that.
On the, summer school, I know you said they were recommended, so we're gonna open it to potentially any student in the division effectively?
We can do that.
I'm just
And I
saying-
think that's the way, we've not done that in the past.
Right.
How it's always been before is a remedial summer school for those who didn't pass SOL. So
Right.
we don't have that data to go
Mhm.
with. So, depending on our finances and if our money for tutoring and summer school money comes through, which I think that will happen as well, and that would probably be something you can get, funding through the code as far as you know, with this as well. Yes, I would like to see this to be able to offer to whoever would be willing or wanting to
Right.
come.
Yeah, cause I know, I'm sure the staff requirement will be a lot different
It will.
than a typical summer school, cause I could
So
see.
that's part of that funding, but, you know, as we hear more from the state superintendent, we hear information every Tuesday and Thursday, he does a call with us at 8:30 in the morning, and, we get more and more, and some of it gets changed, but we are getting more and more information, so hopefully, as this continues, we'll have a plan. and
Okay.
go from there.
Yeah, I think you'll have a high number of,
Yeah, I think so
especially,
too.
you know, parents have students or just that maybe we're worried about anyway, and just a chance to kind of brush up.
And I think, you know, I think that's gonna be part of, that's part of our, will be part of our emergency response plan and our continuity of education, is how we bring that back and have a summer school that does that, and then bring them back into the school year with sprawl review and different times to have a little, at a time during the day.
Okay. Well, that was just information. Any questions, board members? Alright, next we have suspension of policy resolution.
Okay, I want to explain this just a little bit. This gives us, or gives the board, by signing this resolution, just a chance, if there's policies that should, throughout this process, need to be changed or need to be altered, to not have to go through the first reading and the second reading, I have the authority to go ahead and make some of those changes or follow the guidance we've been given. And then we have time to revisit those when this is over, or during the, you know, without having to do that and having to wait till that process is complete. And I have listed four here as for reference for you all. These are, policies that could have been affected, but for us, we've received waivers for the graduation requirements, which is IKF. We've received waivers for the locally verified credits, which is the IKFA. And the IKFD is a local verified credit, and we use this procedure already as suggested by VDOE for our local required credit. So we're in line with that because we already have a committee that does that and approves those. And then our IKC, right now that one is still, I think we're still in guidelines with that, because we are encouraging our students in dual enrollment to finish strong and to take a grade, which will have a positive impact on their GPA. And there is an option out there for them to take a pass, or pass that will transfer, or a pass that will not transfer. And it won't have a negative or a positive impact on their GPA. It would just be calculated as it was at the end of the 39 weeks. So, what their grade was. So right now for us, these policies are the ones that I think some divisions maybe have looked at and had to make changes. Right now, we are in compliance with these policies as written, unless there's some, you know, because of the waivers. So if we have any changes in any policies, I'll be sure to let you know that. But I just wanted to let you see some of the policies that I think this resolution came about because of. But, by signing this resolution, if there's anything else that happens or anything with these that change, I would have the authority to go ahead and do that without the first and second reading.
Members, anything for Dr. Wolford? Is there a motion to adopt a resolution to suspend school board policies which are amended due to national crisis?
I make a motion to adopt a resolution to suspend school board policies which are amended due to the national crisis.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Dr. Wolford, on your next policies.
On our policy updates, these policies, we had moved from last month to this month, and mainly because there's just not a whole lot of change, except for reference changes, there's some deleted policies, just minor wording changes. So all of these really, not an impact on what the policy says or what it means, just some of the wording. So if you have any questions about those as you look through them, please let me know. And then we do have one policy, GBN-R as a regulation, about the staff hiring procedures, which we have discussed at a previous board meeting, and this was brought forward to you from that discussion. So if you have any questions about that policy or would like to see anything different with it.
Any comments, questions from board members? Is there a motion to approve these policies for first reading?
I'll make a motion to approve the listed VSBA policies as first reading.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, next is, a little bit of procedural. We have to bring our special education annual plan presentation before the board each year. This would have been Ms. Adams that would have been bringing this, to you, but she is not able to be here tonight. So, we did our child count for December the first was 129. And then if you, see the listing of the personnel that we have and the ones that we're anticipating having for our 2021 year, there's 4 special education teachers at John Burton, 3 paraprofessionals, 5 special education teachers at Norton Elementary. 1 teacher is funded by a grant to serve the populations with exceptional disabilities. 1 full-time special education paraprofessional at Norton Elementary, that's funded by the grant. 1 part-time special education paraprofessional at Norton Elementary Middle School. 1 full-time speech pathologist for Norton Elementary Middle and John I. Burton. 1 part-time physical therapist, which is contracted. 1 part-time occupational therapist, which is contracted. 1 part-time school psychologist is contracted. And 1 part-time audiologist, contracted. 1 full-time school nurse at Norton Elementary Middle School. 1 full-time school nurse at John I. Burton, and 1 part-time clerical position for Medicaid billing. So those are the positions that we had in this past year with our new additions anticipated for our 2021 year. And, if you see, in the object code, this will be for our salaries. This, in no way covers all those positions listed, but this is, salaries that we put into this grant to cover a portion of those salaries. It's used to pay for 4 of the special education teachers.
Any questions from members? Is there a motion to approve the special education annual plan for 2020-2021?
I'll make a motion to approve the special education annual plan for 2020-2021.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay. Move on to strategic planning. I just wanna make sure that you all and everyone else is aware that, on our website, we have dedicated a tab to our emergency operations plan, our continuity of learning plan, and any important information that I receive and need to release to parents or to the community on our website. I do try to put that on our social media sites as well, but, the official place for that is on our website, so if anybody's needing information about like, the office hours or our schedules or how students are to contact parents if they need, parents are to contact their school, how, if they need computer needs, food needs, all that's on that one website. We were able, I don't know how, to submit our school of innovation application through all this, and it was submitted on, 4/15. Moving forward, I do think we need to start thinking about our strategic planning and our 6-year plan. Looking forward to some late summer dates for our committee meetings. I really think some of those, because it does take community to be a part of that, would like to be able to schedule those as in person, but we'll see how that goes. But that's something that's on my radar. And, once again, for you all to start thinking about is our board training considerations for either fall, winter, or how we want to move forward with that. And I know that's, all depends on how we can have those, but those are things that, we still gotta keep moving forward and planning for the future, and those are things that I think we need to think about.
Any questions on the COVID-19 plan, emergency response plan?
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. Thank you. I think it's, I did see it's prominently posted on the website, and I think that's very helpful.
I went back and reviewed it today just to see all the different things that we had on there, and there's a lot of information there. Parents will visit that if they had questions throughout this process. It's there, the answers are. And you know, we do receive calls, and we've set up a phone line that's designated that I can take calls from anywhere I'm at for our division. So even if we're not, even if I'm working from home or I've been at the office most of the time, but there's a way for people to contact me at all times, so, we do have that set up, so.
Budget.
This is the same presentation and, budget line item that you saw in the public hearing. I just wanted to make sure we had it in our regular session in case there was extra comments or concerns or questions you all had about it. Because we will, we have looked at scheduling a, work session for the 30th. And we're hoping that'll give Jacqueline and I enough time to get numbers and come back with some information. I just didn't know, if there was any particular or, things that you all wanted protected or things that you wanted to see different as we move forward through this. We will work hard to get Mr. Leonard's information he needs on the new building. Is there any other items that we need to take a look at or you want us to consider removing or, I know, you know, we had a bus in there, we had the middle school band, the bathroom at the, you know,
I'll
at
just,
the
I'll
high
start out
school.
by just saying, you know, I hope that we can protect personnel first, I know you all
That's what
will,
we
but,
said.
you know, I know we may not be able to add the positions we want to, but at least make sure we don't lose any positions, I think will be a win through this uncertainty. Outside of that, you know, we'll just do what we can do, you know, on their CIP and other things, but that's kind of where I'll kick it off for once, they see the last, but I'll start for once, so.
And we definitely, I definitely agree, and you know, and when I say program, some of the new positions we had added in were to help us with some programs. So my goal is to keep all the personnel we currently have, and to look at keeping the personnel that we had associated with the programs we were hoping to add, you know, some things there.
Right.
And still be able to give teachers a raise, and I've told Jacqueline to work hard once we do get numbers for that to happen. You know, we're gonna have to go back and revisit salary scales, we're gonna have to go back and look at the people with minimum wage increases, because
I did wanna just kind of briefly get y'all's thoughts on, the salary scales. You know, the governor has postponed the minimum wage requirements to May. Do you want me to look at lowering those back down for a little while, or would you like me to try to keep them where we were? We brought,
Food service?
food service, we only moved to $9.50, and I've spoken to, Mr. Sturgill, and we've decided to try to keep it where we can. But I think the other one that was heavy was the custodians and the aides.
I personally like, if we
I'd like
keep it where it is.
keep it,
Yeah, I would
Try to keep
like
it.
this,
I mean, we're gonna have to adjust it, and or at least in our budget, prepare for those last 2 months, cause if it hits in May and June, I'll have to
Right.
prepare for that. But, it's gonna have to be changed eventually,
Yeah, I
so
think we can do it now. Is that,
try to
think
keep it.
I think it's better, if we can go
is
ahead.
that agreeable to you, Mr. Linder, try to keep those minimum wage increases whenever coming in the pipeline in there?
Yes,
Okay.
and I agree, because I think, you know,
We're just gonna kick the can down the road if we don't.
Yeah.
exactly, and you know, truthfully, if we think about it, some of those people with those minimum wage increases have been our essential personnel right now.
That's true.
And they're very
And then-
deserving of everything that we can do for them.
I mean, I think the other stuff would be more flexible on like the advice in the bathroom and that type of stuff.
That's
It's
the
not-
things that I
That's
said.
great if we can do it, but I don't think that is as
Right.
necessary as providing for the people that make up our schools. I mean, I think we've gotta get that stuff done, and then the other stuff we can see, if we can do it, great, if we can't, you know, we do
I'd
that
rather
later.
keep that down.
Yeah, no, I think that's a much more
And, you
viable
know,
option.
there again, we might can recognize, from now till June, we might see some money with the COVID where we had some savings to be able to do some of those things in this year's end of the year money that we, you know, that we recognize some savings. Because you can't carry that money over, and you can't put it in the budget, I mean, in the salaries, but you can do some of those other things now,
But we
and,
can, you know, highlight the stuff that we think is
Right,
most
right.
important as it comes available and just kind of have a wish list.
Right, so go to CIP rate.
You know,
so we'll try to get a list of all the things that we would possibly
Good.
have to take out of the budget and how you, what comes back in first
Right.
at the end of this time. That
Yeah, I
would
think
be
for a
great.
workshop.
I think that'd be great.
Okay,
too.
then
So
we'll look,
kind of
we'll work that way for
plan
the
on
workshop.
doing that,
Cause
yeah.
I'm anticipating, like, I'm working on April payroll right now, and I believe, at last I checked, we're paying about $26,000 of salaries
that weren't necessarily earned. So these are, our people that we're paying that didn't work any hours or didn't work quite the hours that we're paying them, just so they have a continuity of earnings during this time. And so we may have that $26,000 reimbursed, and so that would be really nice.
Yeah, okay.
And, but we're not paying substitutes right now, so we're seeing some savings.
We are.
And not all our bus drivers, are getting the hazard factor, not all driving for the meals. So there's gonna be some savings, there's just, there's no kids in your building, even your electricity bill. We hope to recognize that that'll be down, because we just have all the lights on in the building, we're not running the same kind of,
that you wouldn't
that you wouldn't otherwise have.
Right.
So hopefully we'll see enough savings to do some of the things we still want to do in next year's budget at the end of this year. So we'll work for that towards the work session.
So I agree. I think that I like your strategy on how to move forward with the budget once you know more, but I think people, personnel, and programs really need to be the focus. Because that's the rubber that meets the road for those students that need them, our kids think that's best.
Mr. Lehman, anything you wanna add on that discussion?
No.
Okay.
So, we'll move to ADM if we're good. You've got two numbers here, and because we got some new numbers today from the caboose budget, which as of April 22nd could change again. But I'll share the updated, pretty small print. Jacqueline, if you wanna just go over the base line on how that affects our local and state revenue for right now, which I think we were very, smart in how we planned last year's budget with our numbers. We actually, were very close to what we anticipated, so we've done well.
I added an extra PDF to this afternoon with updated numbers, but I left the old one just so I didn't confuse anybody. But basically, we are expecting an additional $2,810 from the state and $416 from local revenue for a total of $3,226, not including our textbook revenue. So it's a good bit lower than we anticipated last week, but it's $3,000.
And in the end, if any changes, if there's any more changes that happen, I would anticipate that number get adjusted a little bit higher.
Upwards, yeah.
Instead of lower again. I think this is the low end of the governor's proposal, and then, we'll see what happens on the,
Oh, the caboose budget still has to be, approved and passed on Wednesday too.
yes. Yeah, that has to be approved too. So there's still gonna be some more changes to that, but as we get new numbers and as that's updated, we will try to keep that, on our radar as well.
So our next regular meeting is May 11th, so that will begin at 6 p.m. If you have anything you'd like to see on the agenda we haven't talked about, please let Dr. Wolford know. And we, I guess, is everybody good with April 30th on the workshop at 6 p.m.? Is good for that. It's a Thursday?
The city council chamber was available on that day, and we thought, by doing it at that day, we should have numbers enough to come back and have a discussion. And that would give us another week if we needed to have another work session just in case. And then we hope to be able to bring a budget for approval on May the 11th.
Okay.
So that gives us a little flexibility there, and, then the process of how we will proceed with the city, would happen after we approve our budget. Which I think that would be us taking it to them on the 19th
Yes.
for their approval, and their process starts with, their, public hearing.
Public hearing, yeah.
Superintendent update.
But just first, like I say, once again, I can't be more proud than to be working for this division right now. Everybody's doing an excellent job, they're stepping up to the plate, and, once again, the cafeteria workers and our bus drivers have not missed a beat. And every time I go, there's not a complaint one, they just tell me how thankful they are to get to see the kids and to be able to do the job they're doing. So I think that says a whole lot for our division, because as of right now, I think we're one of the very few divisions that's still doing it every day. Most people have backed off to minimal days in a week, 3 days a week, some only doing one. And we've been very fortunate. Being small, it definitely has been an asset in that regard. Teachers, I've been able to get on their Google Classrooms and see the instruction that they're providing, and it's just tremendous with what they've been handed and how quickly they've reacted and been able to do the job that we hired them to do. I've been very pleased. I couldn't make it without my principals and my leadership team. Excellent job leading their faculties, and they've been having Zoom faculty meetings and checking in on their faculty, and that's been great. And for me, very important is my office staff. Once again, they keep it all together, and we truly not missed a beat there. It's been stressful and it's been hard, but we are getting through, and we are continuing to do a job that I feel like you all will be pleased with too. So overall, this division is surviving and doing well, and we're just taking the guidance we're giving and making it work. So thank you all for your all's leadership and support of me, and thanks to everyone in the division for all that they're doing. So if you look at your sales tax, you're not going to see a difference, a huge difference from last year in a negative way. That will be a couple of months down the road before we'll probably recognize the impact of the COVID-19. But this is what we have as of right now for March. The state superintendent keeps telling us to be watching for May, June, and July, before we'll start seeing our impact. And then our enrollment, of course, is still, as of March the 13th, which was our last day, is set with 784 as our date, as our enrollment, not our ADM, but our enrollment. And Lisa Bowling is completing a report right now for our spring. We do a spring report, then we do an end of the year report, and that will have some more additional information. It doesn't have to be submitted until the end of this week, so we'll have that information about our official ADM and that kind of stuff in that report at our May meeting.
Alright, thank you. Alright, school board, Mr. Leonard.
Nothing really, just, prayers to those that are on the front lines dealing with this COVID-19, the first responders, healthcare workers, the people that are delivering food, and making sure that everybody is, staying safe and healthy. Just especially prayers to those that have contracted the COVID-19 virus, and those that know people that have it. It's a hard, difficult time for everybody. Just, everybody stay safe and be healthy.
Alright, thanks, sir. Ms. Russo.
Well, I'd like to thank our superintendent and central office, our principals, our teachers, of course, who are creative beyond probably ways they even knew they could be. So it is interesting. I've heard funny stories about teachers trying to bring classrooms together and their kids little kids coming into the classroom and maybe sharing information. So, but it is, I'm really proud about, how the school has come together, things you all have managed to do, feeding the kids every day. And I think that is right. It is what makes our school so special, makes our city so special. Thank you all. And don't hesitate to let us know if you need something, because I haven't heard anything, and you guys are just still rocking and rolling, and I really appreciate it. So,
Dr. Campbell.
I just want to thank everyone for the hard work. I mean, I think that the dedication to the students here is, above everything else, and I see that in all the teachers and the administrators, and the difference it makes is really special. I think that one of the things as adults, we all feel the stress, and we wonder how we're going to get through, but kids feel it too, and I think they feel it from us and feel it from a lot of different sources, and I think everyone's a little unsure, and the things that the teachers and staff are doing to kind of help is, with my kids, and just a little continuity and a little bit of reaching out goes a long way, and it really does help kids get through these difficult situations that we're all trying to figure out, and I hope the teachers know how much that means, and I'm sure you guys are letting me know, but it impacts their lives greatly, and I think, just remembering that and remembering why we're doing this is important, and we just have to be flexible as we get through this, and I think we'll come out of this ahead, even though it's tough. I think we're gonna see innovation and ways that we can continue to impact our students in maybe a better way, and be able to keep providing the best education that we can, and so, I mean, we gotta get through it, but we also have to continue to strive to get better, and I think we're doing that, and I'm proud to be just a small part of this. It's, I think you guys are doing a great job. I can't thank you enough.
Yeah, I agree. Just again, kudos to you all and appreciation of all the staff and their hard work, and came home today for lunch, and one of my kids was on a Zoom call, and, you know, it lightens their day, like you said, Dr. Campbell, just to be able to see their classmates and their friends and their teachers and communicate and kind of break up that monotony at home, and it's not the same, but, I was thinking about it earlier, I think, you know, like Dr. Campbell said, we're gonna come out of this in a positive way somehow. We didn't plan on it, but we can use it to grow, and so I just appreciate our staff, our personnel, all of our families and parents and grandparents, and everybody's helping take care of children right now, and our restaurants and our community, the Easter baskets, where that came together. And so I think we're really seeing the Raider spirit thriving right now, and I think that's something that not a lot of communities can say, and hopefully they can, but I know we can say it and be honest about it. I think it's amazing that we can do that, so, we definitely did not wish this to happen, but the way that we're being able to handle it, or you all are being able to handle it, you know, we're just kind of sitting here in the back seat, but, just keep doing the great job that you're doing, and we commend you greatly for what you've done, so, thank you. All right, with that being said, there's nothing else on the agenda. Is there any other business to come before the board? All right, hearing none, we are adjourned.